Hi, I'm John Burke.
And I'm Alex Huffard.
And we are Burke & Company.
And this is the Monday Market Minute.
It is. And we're actually sitting in one of our listings that we had this fall here in Sea Isle City.
5100 Atlantis.
Yep, great listing. It is a 4-bedroom, 3.5-bath townhouse with a bonus room. It's got a great look down at the water, and it's asking $769, which in the course of talking things right now, we're going to talk a lot about that category of home, 10-year-old townhomes with the bonus room. They're very popular this year in Sea Isle, and that's a really good price. So we're going to tackle a little bit very quickly of the Sea Isle market as it is, and reasons you might think about, whether you want to be a fall buyer or a spring buyer.
It's been a little while since we talked about the market here.
Well, we've been kind of concentrating on Zillow. Now we're going to focus a little bit more on very, very local and what's actually going on. And I would say right now we're 2 weekends in. We'll see what hits in the next couple of days as far as going under contract. I think it's going to be a good indication of what the fall is going to be like. Right now, right out of the gate, there's been a little bit of a staring contest. Prices have moved up quite a bit in the last 2 years, even in the last 6 months. So let's talk about a specific category. Let's talk about 10-year-old townhomes with bonus rooms. Right now, most of those in the 100 blocks, and there's quite a few of them, in some good blocks, the 50s, the 70s, they're priced at a point between, say, $819 and $849. At a certain point, I think somebody is going to pay over $800 for one of them, and that's going to sort of establish our price and begin to make sense out of things. Right now, nobody is quite bitten at those. I mean, it is a good indication of why we're sitting in a great deal here at 5100 Landis. So we'd love to talk about somebody interested in that at $769. But right now, there's a little bit of a staring contest. That might be changing this morning as we're talking, and something's going under contract from the weekend. So let's discuss, I guess, how that sort of means, why should I be a fall or why should I be a spring buyer? I would take this into mind. There are some definite reasons for buying in the spring, and the most obvious one is not having to carry the property through the winter. With that being said, sellers are usually a little bit more negotiable in the fall because they want to carry the property through the winter. The other big advantage, I think, to looking at homes in the fall is right now somebody's going to buy one of those townhomes in that category, and they're going to establish our price. And that's going to be our price for the fall, and barring some dramatic incident, that's going to be our price for the spring if the price in the spring isn't even higher than that. And in that category of homes, what's going to go first, there's a couple of those homes that I just mentioned to you. I've been in all of them. There are a couple that are just nicer than the rest. Like you walk in, they feel nicer, they look nicer, they're in better shape, and those are going to go first and establish the price. And then later, everything's going to be based off of those prices anyway. So lesser homes are still going to be turning back to those and basing the price. So I think if you're the sort of buyer who wants to get the best, who wants to get the nicest, you're not going to wait for the spring clearance. You're probably going to come in the fall, and yes, you'll have to carry the property, but you're going to get the cream of the crop selection. You're not going to Marshall's 3 days after everything showed up, and you know that experience, like going through that rack. You're there the day it all arrived, So, and that's also, there's a likelihood with the trend that the spring's going to be higher than the fall, so we're going to be basing the price off of sales in the fall, and it'll be the same category, but nicer homes in that category. So if you're a little more discriminating, I think your time to buy is here in the fall. If you're the sort of person who wants to take a chance, see where the cards fall, and try to maybe find a deal if it happens, maybe you wait until the spring, unless you run into somebody who's motivated in the fall. And sometimes you can pick up on that also. Somebody's got to do something for a particular reason. So that's the state of the market here in Sea Isle. You've got a little bit of a reason to talk briefly about Ocean City, right? You've got a great listing there right now.
So we're going to move out of Sea Isle and into Ocean City. My listing, 895 Fish Street in Ocean City, listed at $819. 5-bed, which is huge. It's 7 lots from the beach.
It is an amazing location.
You literally stand on that top deck and you look out and you have the entire block of 5th Street, that north end of the boardwalk, and you literally see all of 5th Street Beach. Or on Friday night in the fall, you want to talk about buying in the fall, you sit on that top deck, you turn right, and you can watch a high school football game.
That is actually kind of cool. If you're into high school football, that would be pretty neat. And it's nice, too, having the open across the street. My parents here in Sea Isle have a house, across the street is a church, and because of that, there's just sort of this big open area. Whereas a lot of blocks here, Ocean City, Sea Isle, these are very well-developed areas. You're usually staring at some other house somewhere. So it is nice having that open thing there, and you can see a lot of used to say promenade, I'm a Sea Isle guy, but a lot of the boardwalk from that house. So it's a great location. So
and general trend, I'm going to jump in right here. Like general trend, like you're talking about, like the market's beginning to move up, and this fall is going to be big for setting prices. Mm-hmm. And Ocean City seeing a lot of that, just like Sea Isle is, where when I was comping this property when we're going on the market, you're looking at what's out there, and there's such a diverse nature of Ocean City as opposed to Sea Isle that when you're looking at it, there aren't many beach block, this type of location properties out there, townhouses that serve as monster rental machines. So you have an opportunity to kind of walk in before the price is set on what these are going to be in this upward trending market, to kind of get your hands on something before.
Yeah, and I think too with that property, another reason you might consider buying in the fall, and there's a few of these here in Seattle right now too, is if you're the sort of person who wants to get a deal and you're willing to do some work, like if you want to go in and get a property that is going to need some work, which is a great move in the markets right now. It's a very good move in these markets right now. I can show you. There's a couple right now in Sea Isle. This one sort of plays into that a little bit there. It's nice. It's been renting great, but you could also make some improvements on that property and just hit it out of the park there. And if you're going to do that, to have 6 months to get it all figured out and get it booked for next year, if your plan is to rent, this is the time to get started on that too. So, hot picks.
Hot pick of the week.
Hot pick of the week. We're going.
Football. I'm going football.
Yes,
I'm going the NFL.
So what do you got this week? Who's playing?
Last
who
week,
do you like?
I would like it to stay. Last week I went 1-1. That did not play out the way I thought it was. I really thought I was going to be 2-0 last week. I was feeling very confident.
Oh, you're one of the most confident people I know. You always think you're going to be 2-0. So let's go for two. Let's go for 2 this week.
This would have to one actually. This would be the toughest Monday night prediction I think I'm going to have to do all season. It's Lions versus the Giants, both coming off of horrific shows last week. And I think that in order to stay in the NFC East, the New York Giants know they have to beat Detroit here. So I can't see them not figuring out a way to pull that off.
All right, so you were picking
Giants.
And you were saying bet your house on it. It is the lock of the week. Put everything you have on the Giants. Send your hate email to alex.realestate@outlook.com. I'm John Burke.
I'm Alex Hufford.
We are Burke & Company, and we will see you next week.